of heaven, because Chukwukika Abiyama is in control of all that we have been doing and will continue to do until Biafra is restored and all the suffering indigenous populations in the damnable zoological republic are set free. Chineke nna nke pụrụ ihe niile Chukwukika Abiyama onye na-efuwe n'aja aha nsọ ya mma mgbe niile. Onye ọbụla na ya na-achị eluigwe n'ụwa na-agba akaebe ịhụnanya gị na ebere gị amara gị n'ọmịiko gị ebe ndị gị na-eze ebede ngọzi. Anyị wee na-etoghị agbanyeghị atụmatụ ọjọọ niile nke ndị iro. Iwe nye anyị ndụ ala nke dị ndụ n'ụbọchị nke taa. Anyị wee na-asị na ịja mma niile otu niile dịrị aha nsọ gị. Onye ọ bụ naanị aka ike niile na ọ gbadara aka ya. Anyị wee na-akpọku gị na-asị gị na nke ọma anyị ga-ekele gị, nke ọjọọ ma anyị kelee gị. Anyị wee na-aja gị mma, wee na-eto gị, wee na-asọpụrụ gị n'isi ụmụ gị niile bụ ndị ikwu ndị wee ezu oku mgbe a kpọrọ ha ka ha wee chekwaa ala nsọ gị bụ Biafra onye nwe m na Chineke na ihe n'ikpere anyị nkwa na o mekataghị ka ndị iro wee were ala nsọ Biafra onye nwe m na Chineke na nke bi n'igwe. Agbanyeghị atụmatụ ọjọọ niile nke ndị iro ma ndị na-agba mgbọgba ebe niile dị iche iche onye nwe m na Chineke nna ihere bụ nke ndị dị etu a n'ụbọchị nke taa. Anyị wee na-eto gị, wee na-asị onye nwe anyị na Chineke nna nke pụrụ m ihe niile, onye ọ bụ naanị ya na-azọpụta, onye ọ bụ naanị ya bụ okwu ya niile bụ ihe na amen. Anyị wee na-asị ezi ebube dị ngọzi na ọtụtụ na ịja mma na nsọpụrụ site n'ebighị ebi ma ruo n'ebighị ebi. Ise ise ise.
Hello, thank you for joining us this morning, afternoon, and night, depending on where you are joining us from. Welcome to Sunrise on Radio Biafra London 102.1 FM. My name is Sochima Mbanali. Sochima Mbanali is from Olu province of Biafra land. It is an absolute pleasure to be with you here every morning from 5 to 7 a.m. Biafra time. Our religion is Biafra, and we worship here on Radio Biafra. Here is the place where we conscientize ourselves. Here is the place where we motivate ourselves. And today, just like every single day, just like every single hour, just like every single minute, we are here to conscientize ourselves. We have been taken back 3,000 years of civilization by the Nigeria government, by the creation of what you have today as Nigeria. It has taken the civilization of the Biafran people back for over 3,000 years. And this is where we conscientize and motivate ourselves so that we can reach back, so that we can go back to who we are, so that we can progress. Because going back to who we are is progress, and Nigeria is retrogression. Today is the 22nd day of April 2024, and the time now is 5 minutes past the hour of 5 in the holy and blessed land of Biafra. You can join us on FM radio at 102.1 FM if you are anywhere in Biafra land. You can join us at 102.1 FM from your radio if you are anywhere in Biafra land. We are streaming live on satellite. We are also streaming live on various apps that are downloadable from your app store. Easy peasy. These apps like Radio Biafra and IPOB Community Radio are very easy to use, and as long as you have internet on your phone or on your device, you will be able to access these apps. You will be able to listen to the gospel from anywhere in the world. You can also visit our website on ipob.org, ipob.org, and radiobiafra.co. Visit this website to read the latest news and general information concerning our march to freedom. If you are interested in contributing towards the restoration of Biafra, go to ipob.org and you will see a medium to contribute. This is not a time where people say some people came to them and they contributed. Now you have an opportunity to go to ipob.org without questions, without asking if it will reach the leadership. You know that this is for the leadership. I encourage you to share this information with everyone that you can. Share this information with every single body, every single person that you can. Now, this day, the 22nd of April, 2024, I call for the unconditional release of Maazị Nnamdi Kanu from the DSS solitary confinement. I demand that Nigeria government should obey the ruling of their own courts. I demand that they obey their courts that declared the abduction of Maazị Nnamdi Kanu and his continued incarceration as illegal and a crime against humanity. Nigeria government kidnapped Maazị Nnamdi Kanu on the 19th of June 2021. They tortured him in Kenya for 8 days before they brought him into Nigeria, and since then they have left him in the DSS solitary confinement at Abuja. On the 20th of July 2022, the United Nations Working Group on Arbitrary Detention declared that the extraordinary rendition of Maazị Nnamdi Kanu is a violation of international human rights conventions and called for his unconditional release. All these pronouncements have continued to fall on deaf ears as Nigeria government has continued to blatantly ignore them. Instead, they have pursued every effort to inflict severe physical and psychological torture on the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. You may recall that the same government on the 14th of September 2017 tried to assassinate Maazị Nnamdi Kanu, despite that the case of Maazị Nnamdi Kanu was due in their court just hours later. They still wanted to assassinate him because they do not want Maazị Nnamdi Kanu to be in their own court, because they understand that Maazị Nnamdi Kanu did not commit any crime. Thankfully, Maazị Nnamdi Kanu managed to escape, but the Nigeria government killed at least 28 people at his home, his family home, that day. They did not just end it there. They killed many more people across that area on that very day. What crime did Biafrans commit? What crime did Maazị Nnamdi Kanu commit? Maazị Nnamdi Kanu did not commit any crime known to law, and the Nigeria government knows it. Every single person knows it. Maazị Nnamdi Kanu presents a solution to the numerous issues that for decades have been plaguing Nigeria. These issues include corruption. These issues include political instability. These issues include human rights abuses. These issues include economic mismanagement. These issues include ethnic tension. Maazị Nnamdi Kanu presented a solution to the Nigerian problem. Maazị Nnamdi Kanu, speaking for the Biafran people, is demanding for a United Nations supervised referendum for the indigenous people of Biafra to decide our own fate, for us to be in charge of our own lives. This is as indicated in the United Nations Charter, which Nigeria is a signatory to. But today, thousands of Biafrans are illegally held at different Nigeria government dungeons. Thousands of Biafrans are being killed on a daily basis. Nigeria poses an existential threat to Biafrans, because rather than respond properly like they have agreed in the United Nations, according to the UN Charter which Nigeria signed, rather than respond accordingly for our call for a referendum, a democratic process Nigeria unleashed criminality and terror against us. Nigeria government recruited terrorists. Some they recruited into the army. The rest they recruited to invade our bushes and launch attacks against our people from there. Some they recruited into the police, into different security infrastructures, into the DSS. This invasion of our lives, this invasion of our land, this invasion of our bushes is what encouraged our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, to form the Eastern Security Network to safeguard our forests and protect our parents, to protect us from the terrorists, the Fulani terrorists. This is a clear example of the solutions that he presented to Nigeria. The creation of Eastern Security Network is an example of the capability of the solutions that he provided to Nigeria. Therefore, rather than to fight against this noble man, rather than to continue imprisoning this innocent man, we must support him. Nigeria must rise up and support Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Nigeria from all corners must rise up and support this innocent man. Now, fellow Biafrans, I want to call on you to support the Eastern Security Network. I want to call on you to support the Eastern Security Network. The Eastern Security Network is there to protect our land from terrorists. Is there to protect our bushes so that we can go to farm, so that we can properly cultivate what we will eat and what we will sell, so that we will not rely on the Nigeria government for food, because the Nigeria government have shown that they are not interested in providing for Nigerians. They have shown that they are not capable of tackling the issues that Nigerians are facing on a daily basis. Therefore, we must all rise up and support the Eastern Security Network in any way that we can. Support the Eastern Security Network for the preservation of our lives, for the preservation of our properties, for the preservation of our livelihood. And this is to remind all of us that we have been called to go back to our land. Let us go and invest in our land. We have been called to go into farming. Farming as a source of food security, farming as a source of livelihood. We have been called. It is our responsibility to honor this clarion call. This is a way to serve your people. This is a way for us to serve our people. Therefore, I encourage each and every one of you, even those living overseas, living abroad, invest in farming in our land. Invest in farming in our land. Not because you need the money, perhaps you do not need the money, but because we are trying to ensure that we do not suffer from food scarcity, so that we can ensure that the price of goods and services, especially with regards to food, is reduced, to ensure that there is enough food in our land. And at the same time, I want to remind all of you that it is time for us to come back home for the census, that we must be getting ready to come back home to be counted. We cannot be counted in a foreign land. We should not allow that to happen. We must contribute to our own development in whichever way that we can. In whichever way that we can. With that being said, I would like to go to a press release of IPOB. This press release was, it was last year, actually, released last year, 2023, the 6th day of April 2023, with a heading that says all Biafrans outside Biafra land should return home to be counted during 2023 census IPOB. And it says, we, the global family and movement of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, ably led by the great and indefatigable leader, Mazen Nnamdi Okuchukwu Kanu, draw the attention of Biafrans residents in Lagos and other parts of Nigeria to come back home and be counted during this forthcoming population census. We will use the coming census exercise organized by the Nigeria government to ascertain the population and the size of amenities we needed in Biafra territory. Now, this is the importance of coming back home to be counted in this population census, because this number will be used to ascertain the population and the size of amenities that is needed in our territory, in Biafra territory. Now, it goes on to say the mass return of our people during this forthcoming population census will help us quantify the population of Biafrans in Nigeria. Therefore, we must seize the opportunity Nigeria government is offering to our benefit. They have always told the world that we are a dot with an insignificant population. Now is the time to let the world know the population of Biafrans in Nigeria. As Biafra agitation is gathering international attention and speed, Biafra is coming and no one can stop it. IPOB is gradually dismantling all obstacles to our freedom, and this population census will provide another opportunity to collect more evidence to that effect. Those who disenfranchised Biafrans during the last fraudulent election should never be allowed to use us to boost their population again. They have always used Biafrans' population for a higher allocation, yet deny Biafrans opportunity to freely participate in the national issues. This is in their territories. Okay. It's time we use our tongue to count our teeth. Therefore, IPOB is calling every Biafran resident in Lagos and other parts of Nigeria to travel back to the east and be counted in their home state. Kindly disregard any announcement from any quarter, especially from government agencies, asking people not to go back to their state of origin during the census. Don't let them deceive you. It's their agenda. It's the same agenda to keep falsifying and deceiving the world that we are a small dot in the contraption. Should there be any reason why you can't travel to Biafra land to be counted, make sure you and your family members are not counted outside Biafra land. We must prove them wrong once and for all. IPOB will engage transport owners. This was a press release of last year. When before the population census was before it was shifted. Now it is coming again, so I'm reading to you what the press release of last year. So let me continue. IPOB will engage transport owners to urge them to be part of this project so that those willing to travel to the east to be counted can do so. We are calling on all well-meaning Igbo businessmen and women, entrepreneurs, senators, ministers, commissioners, House of Assembly members from the eastern states to contribute in one way or the other to ensure that our people come back home during this population census exercise. Ohanes and Igbo worldwide and governors of Biafra land must show that they are concerned about the humiliation our people have been subjected to in this country. Our people's mass return during this population census to be counted among us have many benefits, which include validating our majority population in Nigeria that has been manipulated, used and abused for the attraction of higher allocation from the federal government to other states in the past, but can now help us plan for the amenities required in Biafra land, like international markets and industrial parks. Most importantly, an accurate count of our people will help boost the Biafra independence movement. We know that our enemies will want to continue in their age-long census manipulation that they started in 1948, but we will put a strategy in place to capture our true population figure during this particular census. As usual, they will manipulate the true population figures when it gets to the National Population Council office in Abuja, but before then, our people must have captured our true population data from each village to each local government and all the levels. It's our responsibility to tell the world our population size that has been manipulated in favor of other states for many years in the past. The 2023 population census is coming. Like I said, this press release was last year, so I'm just trying to repeat it for us to get the message, the information on the need for us to go back. And it says, and we encourage all Biafrans outside Biafra land to return to their home to be counted. This will be part of the mock referendum to show our international friends the true population of Biafra. All traditional rulers, PGs, and village heads should ensure that our population is counted, captured, and the population data protected for reference purposes. Every Biafran living in Lagos, especially in Lagos, must come home and ensure they did not count him or her in Lagos. They need us and we must go. If you are not coming home, make sure you are not counted in Lagos. Comrade Emma Powerful, Media and Publicity Secretary for IPOB. This is concerning the National Population Census that will be conducted very soon in Nigeria this year. Therefore, you are being called to come back home and count so that you will be counted and you will matter. So that you will be counted and so that you will matter. Because when you are counted in Lagos, you will not matter. You will not matter to them. Just like during the election, they said to you that you are not part of them, that you do not matter to them, that you should go back and vote. Therefore, this time, you must go back and be counted. You must go back home and be counted. Now, on the issue of the court, it is clear that we do not have any confidence in the Nigerian court. It is clear that nobody reasonable can rightly talk about trust in the Nigerian court. Nigeria court doesn't function. It doesn't work. Nigeria justice system has failed us, just like it has failed millions of Nigerians. The Nigerian justice system have shown that they are not independent and as such cannot make decisions and implement it. They cannot make decisions and implement it. In Binta Nyako's court, there was a device planted by the Nigeria security in their own court, and this is a court that Binta Nyako claims is her own court, with no control over it, no control whatsoever over it. It is a weak judge, a weak person that becomes easily pliable to the wickedness of the Nigeria government and becomes a useful tool in the assassination of justice. Now, let us listen to this clip. This is a clip that we are familiar with. This is a clip we are familiar with. Bokachua, a senator in Nigeria, making it clear in his goodbye speech. In his goodbye speech from the Senate, made it clear that the Nigeria courts throughout his time in office was just a tool. He made it clear. He did not mince words. He made it clear that the Nigerian courts, for as long as throughout his time in office, was nothing more than a tool. Nothing more than a tool for him to benefit him and his friends. A tool for the benefit of himself and his friends. Now let us listen to him. Let us hear him one more time. And then I will also play you the clip of accusations made in the House. In the House of, what is it called again? Their Senate. By one of the senators against the former Senate president. Against their former Senate president. Talking about how he was able to find himself, to smuggle himself into the position that he was in. This is something that is normal with Nigeria. Okay, before I go to this clip, let me read this press release from IPOB. Remember that today is Monday, and on Monday we usually speak about leadership issues. We usually speak about leadership issues, but let me read this press release first from IPOB before we proceed. And this is IPOB press release dated the 21st of April 2024, and it says Justice Binta Nyako should redeem herself and step down from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case. IPOB. It says the global family and movement of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, ably led by the prophet and indefatigable leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, condemns the Nigeria government's political and judicial persecution of our leader, using Justice Binta Nyako of the Abuja High Court. Justice Binta Nyako is a political stooge for the federal government of Nigeria, who has used her court to persecute and deny Mazi Nnamdi Kanu his fundamental human rights for years. During the last court appearance of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu on April 17, 2024, Justice Binta Nyako openly threatened to adjourn the case indefinitely because she was not allowed the liberty to execute the scripted judgment against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu handed to her by the Nigerian government. The visibly angry Judge Nyako's threatening proved that she was highly compromised. she is being manipulated and controlled by the executive branch of the Nigeria government via the Ministry of Justice. Justice Binta Nyako has made herself an interested party in Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case, instead of being a non-partisan and unbiased judge. A judge that has no control over her court should not handle a high-profile case like that of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Justice Binta Nyako should redeem herself and recuse herself or step down from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case because she is already compromised and controlled by those who sent her because of their political interest. Since the kidnap and rendition of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in June 2021 and the illegal arraignment before Justice Binta Nyako's court without legal representation, Justice Binta Nyako has not given Mazi Nnamdi Kanu breathing space to express himself in order to allow for a fair hearing. She has always displayed personal hatred against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in her court. Maybe she wants a pound of flesh of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for forming the Eastern Security Network, ESN, who are dislodging her kingsmen, the Fulani murderous terrorist herdsmen militia, from Biafra bushes and forest. Even though the Supreme Court, in their weakness, ruled that the Nigeria government committed an international crime in bringing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu back to Nigeria, also the same Supreme Court ruled that the Nigeria military invasion of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's residence on 14th of September 2017 was responsible for him fleeing, and that Justice Binta Nyako should have not revoked his bail. Justice Binta Nyako should have reinstated Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's bail and apologized to him for tampering with his fundamental human rights. No, she never reinstated Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's bail. Instead, she refused Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's fresh applications for bail or transfer from the DSS solitary confinement to a correctional center because she has a hidden hatred and agenda. The actions and antecedents of Binta Nyako indicated that she will rule against this innocent man for reasons best known to her. Maybe he, Kanu, inaugurated vigilant group threatening to destroy her people who have been raping our women in the bushes and forest and also murdering our people across southern Nigeria. Justice Binta Nyako has handed an already scripted judgment and she is under, it says Justice Binta Nyako was handed an already scripted judgment and she is under instructions to jail Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That's why she rejected every application to grant Mazi Nnamdi Kanu bail or transfer him to correctional center, but insisted on accelerated hearing so she can deliver her agreed upon sentence with the federal government of Nigeria. She is in a hurry to pronounce the scripted judgment from Bola Ahmed Tinubu's government to jail Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Justice Binta Nyako was selected because her husband was among former governors who looted their state treasuries with pending cases at the EFCC. She has an order to jail Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in lieu of her husband's freedom from EFCC harassment. IPOB demands that she rescue herself and save herself and her family of shame and unforgivable erroneous judgment. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is a lawful Biafran self-determination activist. He was unlawfully kidnapped and extraordinarily renditioned to Nigeria by the Nigeria government. The Supreme Court of Nigeria on the 15th of December ruled that the Nigeria government violated international laws on extraction in bringing him back to Nigeria. Though the Apex Court was under political pressure not to deliver justice, in the place of justice, the justices who are under pressure to deliver justice for Nigeria. The judges at the Apex Court sent the case back to Justice Binta Nyako, who is an executive stooge, to continue the political trial and persecution of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. IPOB commended the courage of the justices at the appeal court who refused to be intimidated but delivered a balanced judgment by discharging and acquitting Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. The Nigeria government should save themselves and Biafrans time and resources by releasing Mazen Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally. In line with the appeal court judgment, apologize and dialogue with Mazen Nnamdi Okuchukwu Kanu. IPOB stands on the judgment of appeal court of October 13, 2022. On that judgment, we stand. Comrade Emma Powerful, Media and Publicity Secretary for IPOB. Now, this is the state of Nigeria justice system. Nigeria justice system acts based on what the executives say. Nigeria justice system has failed the people. It has failed Nigerians woefully. It has failed Biafrans. There is nothing like justice in Nigeria. And this is why we keep saying that Nigeria is not for us. Nigeria cannot be for us. Nigeria is not workable. Nigeria cannot work. It doesn't matter how many years we stick to Nigeria. It doesn't matter how many years we try to make Nigeria work. It will never work. Because this is how Nigeria was founded. It was founded on that foundation for it never to serve the interest of the Nigerian people.
As a country. And to those of you, our colleagues, including you, Mr. Senate President, you know you're a very smart politician. How you came back is yet another political book to discuss.
Sorry?
How you came back is another chapter in our political history.
How I came back from where?
How you return to the Senate as a senator will open another chapter of great discussion in our political book.
That was the voice of Rochas Okorocha, Senator Rochas Okorocha, accusing the former Senate President Ahmed Lawal of election manipulation. And the fact of the matter is that the manipulation of election by Ahmed Lawal, by Nigeria politician, is as clear as daylight. Take, for instance, the president of Nigeria, a known drug dealer in America, is the president of Nigeria today. Now, listen to what another senator said about the court so that you understand why I had to play the clip of the Senate president, who is a professor at election rigging, to the point that even people like Rochas Okorocha, who understands election rigging so well, is still trying to investigate how this man was able to successfully come into the position that he came into without even winning a primary election, without winning primaries from where he came from.
Particularly my wife, who...
Like I said, this is Senator Bukachua talking about the wife, a justice, a retired justice, if I'm not mistaken. This is talking about a justice selling justice to senators. Senators like the former Senate President Ahmed Lawal and the rest of them, including the President of Nigeria. Therefore, you understand why IPOB is saying that the justice system in Nigeria is dead. Now, let's listen to this guy and his testimony. Remember that this man was a senator. He only just retired last year. Now, listen to him and understand the depth of the conspiracy against the Nigerian people.
Particularly my wife, whose freedom and independence I encroached upon while she was in office. And she has been very tolerant and accepted my encroachment and extended her help to my colleagues.
She extended help in rigging election, in swearing in people who rigged election into office to other senators. This is according to Bukachua. This accusation was made in public, on the floor of the House, and nothing was done about it. No investigation, nothing. Just to show you that every system of the Nigerian is dead. Every Nigerian system is dead and gone. Every of them is dead and gone.
Distinguished, please, I don't think this is a good idea going this direction.
Now, this is Ahmed Lawal, the former president, Senate president, telling him that it is not a good idea to go to that direction. Why? Why did he say that? Because he is part and parcel of those who receive from that.
And those of you are colleagues, including you.
Let's listen to the accusation against Ahmed Lawal and his collaboration with the courts and other security agencies that ensure that he rigged himself into position. Let's listen to this former governor of Imo State, Senator Rochas Okorocha.
As a great country. And to those of you who are colleagues, including you, Mr. Senate President, you know you're a very smart politician. How you came back is yet another political book to discuss.
Sorry?
How you came back is another chapter in our political history.
How I came back from where?
How you return to the Senate as a senator will open another chapter of great discussion in our political book. Because I was there in the field with you running for president. I never knew how you were able to meander and return and leaving some of us. Next time you must teach me how to do that.
It was a torturous journey because we had to go through the courts. I didn't even appeal.
Did you hear what he said? He said he had to go through the courts. It was the courts that gave him the same thing Bukachua said. The same thing Bukachua said. The senator, the now former senator, retired only last year, said that the wife is instrumental in rigging election. This man just confirmed it. Two people just confirmed it in the House, and others were laughing because it is something that they are familiar with. And the government, the entire governance, the entire system of government, they are all quiet, including their investigation, whatever, departments and all of that, the DSS and the rest of them, because they understand that they are all part of the problem. They are all part of the problem. Now, let us look at this news. Usually Mondays are for leadership teachings, but some things do come up every now and then, and we just have to deal with them. Look at this news from the Sun. It says Chibok girls and conquered women of Biafra. This is the reason why no one in whether security or whatever in Nigerian system will be able to stand up and investigate these people. Because even the security itself is worse. Even the Nigeria security itself is worse. And here it says, stop pretending that you are a human being. A victim of sexual abuse tells her abuser. They might not exactly be able to utter such words to their captors, but this is likely the thought that would be going through the minds of hundreds of Chibok schoolgirls abducted by the Boko Haram insurgents. Why is this possible? Why does this happen? Why is this the case? Because of the duplicitousness of the Nigeria courts. The Nigeria courts and the security. They are the ones responsible for the insecurity happening. Remember that the Nigeria Justice Minister of Nigeria was part and parcel of the crime of extraordinary rendition. Also remember that Binta Nyako was the one who allowed the what do they call it, arraignment of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu without his lawyer, breaching his fundamental human rights, breaching his right as a Nigerian. She herself disobeyed the Constitution of Nigeria. In the first instance, as soon as the Department of Justice, the Minister for Justice, the Attorney General of the Federation, colluded with the Nigeria Secret Service and the rest of them to abduct an innocent man from Kenya, Binta Nyako was part and parcel of that meeting. That was why she was able to entertain this nonsense that has been going on. She has been able to entertain this persecution that has been going on for almost 3 years now. That's why when Mazen Nnamdi Kanu arrived in her court, she did not ask questions. How did you bring this man in? Did you kidnap him? She did not, knowing fully well that her law is against it. Even now that it has been established by the Supreme Court that she has been awful in the dispense of justice, she is still going towards the same direction. She is still heading towards the same direction. The case of Chibok girls, the abduction of over 300 girls, and the continued abduction of people, the killing, the disappearances, it is because of people like Binta Nyako, because of people like her. People like her who have made it possible for the Nigeria army to abduct more than to terminate more than 10,000 children, 10,000 abortions. As at then, when the investigation by Reuters was conducted, as at then, because of people like Binta Nyako is the reason why the Nigeria army, the DSS, can go to Olo and slaughter people, burn people's houses, because of people like her. Because of people like her. And remember that her husband was a governor. One of those looters, people who looted the coffers of Nigeria dry. And at the same time, they are the ones telling you that they care about Nigerians, that they want to dispense justice to Nigerians. Whereas they are the ones who are destroying the country. Now they go around telling people how IPOB is giving the country a bad name. No, IPOB is not. We are respected in different countries. How can people like that give your country a bad name? You are the one giving your country a bad name. Nigeria government and those that they have put in different offices are the ones responsible for the bad image that Nigeria has. And the bad image that Nigeria have is something that they worked hard to achieve. Nigeria worked hard to achieve that bad image. Now, let me finish reading this before I introduce Mazi Chukwuemano to be part of this program this day. This says, but perhaps the only trauma that would make these innocent girls even sadder in their captivity is the absence of news of any attempt at their rescue. According to the parents of the abducted girls, so far there had been no known official effort at rescuing the girls. This is Nigeria, and this is because of people like Binta Nyako. She's the one who is making waves, making sure that such things happen. Such things happen. Promoting criminality in the Justice Department is enough to crumble any society. Doesn't matter whether it is America, it doesn't matter whether it is Britain, it doesn't matter where. It is enough to crumble any nation. Of course, Nigeria is not a nation. And it says, according to the parents of the abducted girls, so far there had been no known official effort at rescuing the girls. Despite the enlarged security meetings. So basically, the enlarged security meetings, they have security meetings with no attempt to rescue these girls. Ironically, the last known effort at rescue was the suicidal gambit by the desperate parents of the abducted girls who went 2 kilometers into the Sambisa forest only to be advised to turn back because it was a suicidal venture. The plight of the Chibok girls, in a way, evokes memories of the ordeal of women in the Biafran enclave shortly after the war. So this thing happening today did not just begin today. This is a way of life for the Nigeria government. This is why we are saying Nigeria cannot be fixed. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you do. Nigeria cannot be fixed. It went on to say, in 1971, the news came to us in the bush where we had lived for 10 months that the war was over, that Biafra had surrendered, that we were free to return home to rebuild our lives, starved, outgunned, outmanned, and outnumbered. We, the Biafrans, were reduced to daily battle of personal survival rather than expecting military miracle. The fact was that if the bullets didn't get you, starvation could, and a man's greatest daily battle was to survive to the next moment. Now, this is where Nigeria basically has pushed Nigerians into today. I'm not saying of the experience of this Biafran man or woman that wrote this. I am talking about today. Nigerians have been pushed into this daily battle of personal survival. Daily battle of personal survival. That is what Nigerians have been pushed into. There is no food, there is no water, there is no oil, there is no electricity, no nothing. People are starving on a daily in Nigeria. People would rather die walking through the desert to get to Europe than to live in Nigeria. This is the kind of condition that the government of Nigeria has pushed Nigerians into. And every day they keep telling Nigerians, do not worry, it will be better. Do not worry, we have earmarked 10 billion. Do not worry, we have earmarked 20 billion. But the same money goes into their pocket, directly into their pocket. They do not care about you. They don't want you. They only care about themselves. Only about themselves. They don't care about Nigerians. That is why we are saying enough is enough. That is why we are saying that Nigeria can never work. Nigeria will never work. And Nigeria must never work. Because it cannot work. Now, this news says the news of the end of the war was therefore a great relief. Tentatively, people began sneaking back into their villages to see things for themselves. The reports were mixed. They met other survivors. Some reunited with relations whose whereabouts were unknown. But in more cases than not, our homes lay in total ruins. Now, is that not the case of Nigerians today? Nigeria Army burning houses, burning people's houses, destroying people's sources of livelihood. This is the case today. They have left the houses of people in ruins. They have totally destroyed. They have totally destroyed the lives of Nigerians. Now, look at, I'm not done with this, but let me take you to a news. This is from Newsweek, and it says, if killing is what it will take to protect Anambra people, so be it. Police commissioner orders security operatives to kill. This is happening in Nigeria. This is Newsweek. It says, if killing is what it will take to protect Anambra people, so be it. So you understand that there are consequences to the actions of Binta Nyako. The Binta Nyako's action has devastating consequences. It goes way beyond her court. It goes way beyond her court. It is not just about her court. But she does not care. She, being part of the Fulanis, are the problem of Nigeria, and these people are foreigners. These people are not even from Nigeria, and they are the ones causing the problem in Nigeria. They are the ones creating the problems in Nigeria. And the same people creating the problems in Nigeria are the same people telling us that they are the ones solving it. The same people creating the problem are the ones telling us they are solving it. As we are speaking today, the demolition of Biafran people's properties in Lagos continues. In Lagos, in Ojo Alaba, the demolition of our properties continues. And you talk about one Nigeria. You talk about one Nigeria. Somalia is about to split into different countries. Why is the case of Nigeria any different? When Nigerians are saying enough is enough, when Nigerians are saying we do not want to be part of this contraption because it is unworkable. It is unworkable. It says here, the news of the end of the war was therefore a great relief. Tentatively, people began sneaking back into their villages to see for themselves, to see things for themselves. The reports were mixed. They met other survivors, some reunited with relations whose whereabouts were unknown. But in some cases than not, our homes lay in total ruins. Family houses were now reduced to rubble. Still, it was better to be back and alive. Okay. Now, this issue of the people's lands, people's lives being in ruins, I want to play a clip for you, and then I will now introduce Mazi Chukwima. Let me play this clip for you. This is from a governor talking about the destruction created by another governor. Talking about the destruction of lives and properties, the destruction of the resources of the people by a past governor. This is the state of Nigeria. This is not just in Abab, this is in all over Nigeria.
One of the top 3 firms in the world. And not too long ago, they turned in their report, and
do forgive me for that. The audio wasn't that clear. The audio wasn't so clear, so I'm trying to
gist of Somalia's.
I'm trying to fix the audio. So yes,
some of the things in the report are frightening. So, some 9.3 billion naira was paid to 7 contractors for contracts that were not executed at all up till today. Another 15.9 billion naira, almost 16 billion, was paid to 63 contractors with no supporting documents anywhere in the state. Another 12 billion naira was paid to 2 contractors for contracts that do not exist. Out of this figure, 10 billion naira was on September 25, 2020. And that is almost 4 years. Paid to some contractor for the construction of Abia State Airport. We have spent time trying to locate the airport. Up till now, we have failed. In fact, one of my aides told me the other day that maybe we are using native intelligence to look for the airport, that we should seek artificial intelligence. So as we continue to look for our airport, we have also involved security agencies to help us search. And so that's just an example of what typically happens. And when you juxtapose that with pensions that were lying unpaid for about 10 years and salary arrears, just one on this head in the 10 billion that was spent to build a non-existent airport was exactly the amount of money that our government used to take up the pension arrears.
Yeah, that is that was the governor of Abia State speaking about the role of, in fact, the role of governors, because it is not just one governor. You know, recently that the governor of Kogi State, the former governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, went into running and hiding, sponsored by a sitting governor sponsoring him to run and hide from the law. And this is Nigeria. This is what Binta Nyako and the likes of her has created. They have created a demon. They have created a mess. She is a Fulani woman whose husband is also a product of the system, whose husband is contributing to looting of the resources, just like every other governor. And she's being used as a remote in order to bastardize their own law. Their own law. I have Mazi Chukwu Emmanuel. Mazi Ndewo Ututoma. Welcome to Radio Biafra. Please introduce yourself and your opinion. You have 15 minutes. Ndewo.
Thank you, Mazi Mbanali. My name is Chukwu Emmanuel, and I'm speaking from my location. Thank you once again. I greet my leader and our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the man who set up this platform to expose so many evil that was hidden under the roof of heaven. I greet him once again. Yes, this morning, I listened to a clip of Mazi Chinasongo, and I decided to make some point to that effect because it's very important. Ndị Igbo sị, akwụ mbulu ụgwọ akwebolo ogwo ka pere akwụ. Ndị bekee sị na a first mistake, I don't know how to put it correct, but let me continue now. It is a pity all these years that this platform has exposing so many things. And it seems that some people are not understand what is going on. When I listened to this clip, when Senator was talking about how Nyesomike Okezi Bazo, Devlomahe, and Yubiano, and the director of DSS in Abuja, where they have a meeting and plan on how to commit the brother of our leader, Emmanuel Kano, and Kano Takano, and they start to giving them money just to use that system to connect our leader. After taking time to listen to this evil movement, then I start to ask myself, this DSS director in Nigeria, is it only made for Nnamdi Kanu? Then, what was the crime of Nnamdi Kanu in Nigeria? Self-determination, referendum. And they are going to the extent to go and plant criminals in Imo State with Hope Uzodinma and Simon Ekpa to make sure they manufacture and they produce false evidence to go to court. My question is this: does this DSS in Abuja made for IPOB and Nnamdi Kanu, how many Fulanese terrorists are in the custody of DSS in Abuja? How many of them? How many criminals, Boko Haram, are in the custody of DSS? I try to find out that everything in Nigeria is fully corrupt to the extent only God knows. People are kidnapping in Nigeria. Millions of money are transferring from one account to another account in Nigeria. The DSS have the equipment to find out where the money is, and they don't do it. That means that DSS is involved in kidnapping and collecting ransom in Nigeria. How a wicked place as a country. How many millions of naira, even in dollars, are disappearing in Nigeria every day? And DSS is in Abuja. They cannot find out Who is transferring this money? Which bank this money is going? On which account? That is what they're supposed to do. Because I have seen that even the white people, if any money miss from, let's say, from America or from Europe, any bank to Nigeria or to any Africa, anywhere, the people involved will trace the money to the very particular account according to the country. But in the case of Nigeria, the DSS are criminals. The judges in Nigeria are criminals. The police in Nigeria are criminals. The army are criminals. The president of Nigeria, the vice president are criminals and terrorists put together. A country that is promoting criminality all over the whole place. Think of Imo State. How do you think that a place like that will be a country? How? That a people will elect a governor to rule them. And the so-called government will go to Supreme Court, this evil people, and remove somebody that people elected. And they fix a criminal, a rogue, an armed robber to be in charge of a state. And all the money in that state will be stolen. Tell me how a place like that is supposed to remain, on this earth. Not only that, who puts Odema in Imo State? If you trace out the whole place, the whole sectors, both traditional and government, if you trace the whole people that is operating in Imo State are almost criminals. Because when a bad person like Hope Uzodinma, he will make sure that his friends, criminal like him, will be in a good position around him. Then tell me how a place like that is supposed to exist as a country. How? How? DSS, continue to do whatever you are doing. This radio, we must continue to expose you to the whole world to know that Nigeria is an evil entity. Nigeria is not a country. Britain started for quite a long time planning for Nigeria. They start to continue killing a genuine leader when they came in, to use their hand to fix evil people in the name of leadership, taking them to the church, baptizing them, claiming that these people are born again Christian and all of that. See what is happening. The criminality in the church is more or less the same to what we are seeing in the government. And they are working hand in hand to enslave people. This thing you call religion, Christianity and Muslim, is made on this earth to enslave people. They know. The people who organize it, they understand it was made to enslave people. Because there is no truth. When there is no truth in a religion, what next? Our leader came and exposed the whole thing, telling the world the truth, which the Bible says that you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. And the same Nigeria, the same religious leader, all of them, their mouth is closed because they are praying for Nigeria to continue because Nigeria is a season of criminality. If not, which one of the so-called men of God in Nigeria are coming out to expose the evil that is going on in Nigeria? The clip you played now about Abia State Governor, this young man was elected just exactly as it is supposed to be. And this young man is a genuine human being. And he has been proven now that he's a genuine human being. When I heard about this man, I tried to remember somebody like Mbakwe in those days, early 80s and so. This very person, when I'm hearing what he's doing in Aba and in Abia State, I say, wow, this is a human being. People choose, a genuine person choose his name to be written on gold than money. And that is our leader for you. Our leader rejected Nigeria with all the billions of naira and billions of dollars and all of that. He said he don't need the money. He needs the freedom of his people. He wants to bring something he has sold outside, overseas, to Nigeria. And he has been working towards that line. But why the evil people in Nigeria are struggling very hard to make sure they hold down this movement? Let me put it again to say to our leaders, DOS, and China Samuru Chikedozem, and all of you, I, Mr. Emmanuel Chukwu, 1966, I was in the school before the war starts. Before our people was killed in the north, they run down to the east. And I saw the war. What happened? Ojukwu fight very well to make sure he defend our part. When Ojukwu travel with Gowon to Ghana for Aburi, when Ojukwu come back, Ojukwu said they will agree, and whatever they agreed in Ghana, that is where we stand. He said that on Aburi we stand. And Gowon start, instead of Gowon to follow the instruction and agreement they wrote in Ghana, Gowon start to, to threaten Ojukwu that is going to arrest Ojukwu, and in 24 hours he will conquer Biafra. 24 hours. And that 24 hours taking almost 3 years. Because our people has nowhere to have, people to support them. And they fight gallantly to that extent. During that time, Nnamdi Azikiwe, who's supposed to use his position, who's supposed to know what is happening to his people, after they have disgraced him, Azikiwe fight to be a president of Nigeria. After the whole thing, the British turn him upside down, give him president without power, and give the power to Tafawa Balewa in the north. Instead, Ojukwu will have foresight to think ahead, to see that this thing is going to be very tough, that he will support his brother, to make sure he separate our people from Nigeria. Ojukwu go to Nigeria and join Nigeria and find Azikiwe go to Nigeria, join Nigeria and go to BBC, calling Ojukwu rebels and all of that. And finally, what happened?
Thank you.
It is very, very bad that the same thing happened during the time of Ojukwu. It's about going to happen through the brothers of our leader. These evil people, they think that Biafra struggle is a family business. Not only family business, it's just a village meeting. They don't know that where they are going to meet rock on their way. So what am I trying to conclude is this. If you are a saboteur, listen, if you are Igbo man, you are cheating Chitan Samoro, you are cheating Chikedozie, you are cheating IPOB, your name is sorry. Because somebody like you people are the people that has no sense to think, to reason. Many of you are in Europe. Many of you are in America, in China, in so many places. Don't forget that a time will come where you will cry, nobody to help you. Because the whole world have known what's happening in Nigeria and what is all going to happen in Nigeria in the next few years, if necessary. Continue. So you must think twice, because why you are in so many countries of the whole world is because Nigeria is not working.
Yeah.
If Nigeria is not working, you will stay in Nigeria, you will marry in Nigeria, you will live your life in Nigeria, you will die in Nigeria, which is the normal thing. So many of you are in so many countries. You have reached to marry. You cannot marry. Some of you can marry anything you see so that you have paper. You don't know what we are doing. Remember, a day will come. If you finally die, all the corrupt money you collected to be a slave in the name of Nigeria, that money will disappoint you.
Thank you.
I have never seen people like our people. People who have sense, they can reason. After 10 years, you cannot reason. Our leader have done his best, and we continue to follow it up until we get to where we are going. Thank you, Mazi Mbanali. Chukwukikabiyama will be the strength of those who are human beings, because I try to understand that there are very few people who are human beings. Honestly, very, very few. Chukwukikabiyama will be the strength of all of us until we get our destination. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Mazi. God bless you too. Ndewo. The line is open. You can call in and be part of the conversation this morning, afternoon, and night, depending on where you are. The number to call is +27 78 064545.
child situation.
As the mother of a child, how have you been managing for a year? Your child is not like a dead leaf now. How do you manage? She's crying almost every minute.
It has really been a frustrating journey for me. Even as I am talking now, I am so frustrated. Whenever I look at Grace, tears roll down my eyes. My heart beats for her because I'm wondering what is she going to become in future. When the doctors are telling me that the brain damage, there is no cure for it. So I don't just know her future. I'm so worried about.
As you can see yourself, nothing is stable. The head is just moving. She keeps trying. What would you have to say about vaccine and big farm? What's happening to children? No. This is not the first case.
As far as I'm concerned, as far as we are concerned, this is not the first case. Even that day in the hospital, so many children were affected. So up till now, we have been hearing news of how vaccine is destroying children. All I have to say about that vaccine, it is not recommendable. Because it has happened to us. We have been hearing it before, but we never believed it until it happened to us. Now we believe it.
As you can see yourself.
As you can see, this is the evidence.
Pfizer,
pharmaceutical industry, they are
destroying
children.
This family has had the courage to speak out. Thank you to CHD. Thank you to Palisa. Thank you to all of those who have been helping to take care of the child. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
This is Motherland on Radio Biafra. Thank you very much for staying with us. So we lost the volume. I don't know what happened, but this is just super weird. This is super weird. Everything is the same. Nothing was touched like it's been, and then suddenly the thing just went silent. I hope I am coming out clear, especially on Facebook. I hope I am coming out clear. I hope I am loud enough. So I was reading the Facebook. Information, the comments from Facebook, and I had read that from Omepeni, who was asking Biafrans what do they expect from a government that has refused to probe the past corrupt government, a government that has refused accountability. I also read another comment from Gina that says that Binta Nyako wants to jail Mazin Namdekano in exchange for her husband who looted the treasury of the state. Excuse me. Who looted the treasury of the state. I read that. And now let me also read another comment. This is also a comment from Gina. And she said, all they do is loot. But when an ordinary civil servant makes a little mistake, he will be paraded on all national TV, fired and jailed. They will not even consider the fact that his salary is not constantly paid. They do not care about Nigerians. They don't care about those who call themselves Nigerians. This is why we keep saying that there is no Nigerian, because they understand that they are there for themselves. They don't pay you salaries, and they force you into criminality, and then they parade you. Just the same way EFCC has left all the corrupt people, the politicians and the justices and the rest of them, to go after young boys who they have forced into crime. This is Nigeria for you. This is Nigeria for you. Now let me play this clip on the terrible situation that Bill Gates has placed Africans in. This is the work of Bill Gates, rendering our children, making sure that our children do not have a life like they should. This is, please listen to this clip.
Situations for about a year now. Since the consequences of what we had in Africa about vaccine, big pharma and so on and so forth. She has been destroyed by vaccine. Her brain, her eyes, she's blind, she's no longer hearing, she's not going very well. I have the privilege to have the family with me here. Explain in few seconds what happened to the girls.
Okay.
For how long now?
Here is my wife and here is my daughter. Since on the 13th of April 2023, my wife took this child to a hospital in Kribi in Cameroon for a yellow fever vaccination, a normal immunization program. So immediately she was vaccinated now, she cardiac arrest, her heart stopped beating, and that one led to her brain damage after a few months of treatment in the hospital. So since that time now, this child lost her sight. She can no longer see. As you can see now, her head cannot even position. She cannot use her limbs. She cannot walk. She cannot sit down. She cannot do anything. This is already 1 year plus now. Up to this moment, Cameroon government abandoned this child. They don't care whether this child lives or she died. We were opportune to travel to India. Since we came back from India, we have not heard anything from the government. We have been crying on this innocent baby. So today now, we happen to be with Reverend Frankie Yemga and the wife here. So this is us here. As you can see, this is the child situation.
As the mother of child, how have you been managing for a year? Your child is like dead leave now. How do you manage? She's crying almost every minute.
It has really been a frustrating journey for me. Even as I am so frustrated. Whenever I look at Grace, tears roll down my eyes, my heart beats for her because I'm wondering what is she going to become in future. When the doctors are telling me that the brain damage, there is no cure for it. So I don't just know her future. I'm so worried about.
As you can see, nothing is stable. The head is just moving. She keeps crying. What would you love to say about vaccine and big fan? What's happening today? No. This is not the first case.
As far as I'm concerned, as far as we are concerned, this is not the first case. Even that day in the hospital, so many children were affected. So up till now, we have been hearing news of how vaccine is destroying children. All I have to say about that vaccine, it is not recommendable because it has happened to us. We have been hearing it before, but we never believed it until it happened to us. Now we believe.
As you can see yourself,
as you can see, this is the evidence.
Pfizer, destroying children.
Pharmaceutical industry.
That this family has had the courage to speak out. Thank you for CHD. Thank you to Palisa. Thank you to all of those who have been helping to take care of the child. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for staying tuned into Radio Biafra. This is Sunrise. Thank you very much. We have around 10 minutes to go, so let us utilize this. Let me bring a caller to the show. And before I do that, the clip that you have just listened to is from a victim of the vaccine. A victim of the vaccine. Somebody who their daughter, is a victim of the vaccine. We have been announcing it here that the handiwork of Bill Gates is to ensure that the lives of Africans actually are cut short, to ensure that Africans do not live their lives to the fullest. We have situations in Nigeria where Bill Gates and the rest of them, especially Bill Gates, sponsored the harvesting of organs in Nigeria. And today, the vaccine that this child was injected with, thanks to Bill Gates, has rendered her sightless. She cannot see. She can't even walk. Basically, her system has failed her, basically. So I am asking you to desist from, you cannot trust these people. We shouldn't wait until it happens to us. We should not wait until it happens to us. Now, Mazi Okechukwu, welcome to Radio Biafra. Please introduce yourself and your opinion.
Mazi Mbanali nwanne m nwoke obi agbawala m. And may Chukwu okike abịa be with you until this project is concluded. And our leader there, they can have come to make sure that all this nonsense do not happen again. All the Biafrans all over the world, you can see it, Bill Gates. And it's a very big offense for Africa at large, and Biafra in particular. If you know you are a Biafran doctor, write a petition against Bill Gates from now. We have proof. We go to the court on this earth, not in heaven. and our God, the Chukwokikabiam, is fully in charge. Dada Chike Dozim, Ebi Simzegi, Biafra Nile Nebola Nonwe. Jeremiah chapter 42, very important. And the Jeremiah chapter 43. The people asked Jeremiah to pray for them. The Lord answered to Jeremiah's prayer. And Jeremiah is taken to Egypt. Now the car has gone to everywhere to announce for the restoration of the kingdom of the owner of the world, Chinek. And he must be released as the court of appeal have made it. Discharged and acquitted. If you know you are a Biafran soldier, defend your descendant now. We are not running away from our land. That is the mandate from Chinek. Where are you running to? To your enemies. Say your country is Biafra. We are here. And the Bentanyaku, the Chief Justice of the Nigeria terrorist state. You want to use our own leader. Biafra says they know what she wants to do. The bullet that they want to shoot to the husband, they want to use that and not the kind of block it. Size arrogant. But it's stage of all my loyalty to you. Sano Sekome, may your days be long. You have done it. Unconditional release. And our Lord have greeted you people. And may Chukwokikabiam continue to be with you people. You have the mandate now to go and bring our leader out. From Chinek. From Chinek, God has said that Chike does it. That Chike doesn't alone. Yana did that Chinasamu. I would never Jeshiri Hike. Ghana is in about Zekomen and San Zekomen about the stage of everything like discharge and acquitted. All the one Kazoro. All the one Kazoro. And by the stage marker, you want to return case from Supreme Court back to Ndari. Erike Kanamamu. Come down with Alanango. If you know your race, that's home hour. They find every territory of home hour. And they finally, then the Chike does him. Comes the Koragi Konyan Nisho Kotan. Awesome Ezekiel chapter 48 total. Ezekiel chapter 48. The division of the land among the tribes of Biafra. And the special section in the center of the land. Then the gate of Biafra. The sovereign Lord is saying that is the way the land is to be divided in sections for the tribes of Biafra to possess. The name of the city from now on will be the Lord is here. Ghana like Chukwokikabiam one year. America gabi with a Latinek. Angunwa. All that Lucie. Everybody deputy Lions for University. Ndị Igbo agụga PhD to go asha akpọ obodo. Masị dede Chike dozie melekụla ha na-abịa. Maka akpụrụ glaasị ha hụ kara Chineke. Ndị oriri na-ekpu glaasị. Ndị anaghị okpuru space. Ndị anaghị okpuru space. Ndị anaghị okpuru eye glass. Ha mere operation ụmụ ndị nna our mothers. Ndị amaala saa ndị church. Ma obodo m nọ n'ime onye eze nwere division of the land. This is the land, the portion that APP has given to your ancestors. Your people are the remnant. Take it. Take it. Shetima, go and take your own portion there. Shetima, Tenebu, go and defend your papa country. Onyojo, president of Nigeria, being manipulated by foreigners to come and slave 250 million people. And the Nigerian now let everybody go home. As you know, I know that. You know now, history of our entire. Then I am a former. But the banana letter. Onion longer meche, you can't have gum. Also, boy. And I'll call you, but that's a Kunayogo. Every Fabian State, Sonale Sotina. Every Yamba. More position PDP Matamim, Sonale Sotina. Is the governor of Fabian State. And no interference. Everything on him, eh? Masibala le Biafra le Sotina Menaba. Yeah. All the go boy have been which in your case as a word Buru. And let's start to shake her. I really watch her. Fubara, and the weekend. They are playing Fubara take a mandate. You watch up. Definitely Fubara. All Biafrans.
Oh, hell Biafra. Thank you very much, Mercy, for calling in. Let me still read a few comments before we bring this program to an end because of our time. And Gina commented and said, all of us outside the motherland are not happy. We want to come home so badly. We want to embrace our people, but fear of unknown is what is hindering a lot of us back. And I can relate with what she's saying, because when you read the news every single day, you hear about what our people are going through. I read some time ago, about a lawyer who traveled to UK in order to work. A lawyer, she left her profession of law so that she will travel to at least Obodo Ibo, just like every other person is consumed with that spirit of running away, traveling to go and hustle. And what happened to her? She became a victim. She died. She just collapsed. That was what happened. She just collapsed and died from the stress, from the pressure of cleaning after old women just for her to earn a living. Leaving her law profession to clean after old people just to earn a living. The stress of UK killed her, and she just collapsed and died. So it is not a place of leisure, like green. Everywhere is green, like people think. You go and you pick money on the street. People prefer to be home in a safe and comfortable environment where they can see their loved ones, their families, their friends, not struggling just to eat. Not struggling, you build house in the village and you don't even stay there. The most you stay there is 1 month in a year. 1 month in a year. Because you are outside working, trying to make money, trying to make things work. It is not working. It is not working. And for those outside, it is our responsibility. At least I am very happy that Gina is one of those always commenting, always bringing out her opinion, which is like calling in. Because when you call in, you are also contributing towards this, our enlightenment. And she's always contributing because she wants to be back home, just like other Biafrans who are scattered all over. Therefore, everybody, no matter where you are, work hard so that we will gain our freedom. Now I have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome to Radio Biafra. Please go ahead, introduce yourself and your opinion. Ndewo.
Ndewo, nwa Chineke, Sochima Mbanali, Great Biafran, Udochukwu Okukabia Madurundi Homan Nadema. We glorify the Elohim as a Chukwu Okukabia, and on behalf of our leader Mazin Namdo Okuchukano, Biafra is our religion. On this hollow platform is where we worship as a Chukwu Okukabia is our God. Mazin Namdo Okuchukano is our leader. We learn a lot from Mazin Namdo Okuchukan, and we can never allow him to suffer the way Nigeria wants, because Nigerians are always happy towards always happy towards Umibo. When they see Umibo is suffering, complaining, they are always happy. The injustice towards Umibo is uniting Nigeria, because they want Igbo people to always complain, always crying. See, great Biafrans, there is nothing can change our mind. We have determined that we are not Nigerian. We can never be in that kind of contortion created by evil British and handed it over to Fulanis, a very backward entities who are always trying to influence other people with their own evil, so that nobody, if they are committing evil, they will come out and say that these Igbo people are that, Igbo people are this, Igbo people are that. And the Yoruba tribe, we cover them up, supported them. We said no to evil, and the humanity know who we are. We scatter all over the world because we wanted to live like other people. But in the place we call our country, which is Nigerian, created by evil British, they don't want traded us with them. Will we be afraid of them? No. We said no to it. See, great Biafrans, when we talk about Nnamdi Kanu, everybody should know that there is something our leader represents. Good leadership, love one another, sacrifice, helping those who cannot help themselves, speaking out to say no to evil. So when we have like this kind of people, like let's say only 100 in our society, there is no any society who can be better, which can be better than us. So great Biafran, follow the footstep of our leader. He's a man to show us the way. Look at what I want to ask our people something. Those who are claiming to be one Nigeria, Igbo man went to Yoruba land and bought a land and built a house. One nonsense Alboro will stand up as a governor, demolish it, and do moral of things to you. He went to northern part of the same thing. And you come back to your land. That will send the Fulani to you to destroy, to stop us farming so that we can be beggars. Great Biafran, we should rise up and join hands together and say no to this. We are not against any tribe, the way you want to live on your own. But Igbo people, our land, Biafra land is for us, for the Biafrans, not inflators, not evil politicians, not saboteurs. It's a pure, the really owners of the land. Is a Biafrans, a true one who love themselves, who can sacrifice for their people. That is who own the land. So great Biafran, there is something is disturbing me day and night. What is that? I'm not afraid of Fulanis because if we stand up and say Fulani should go, Fulani will go. But what I'm afraid of now is the way Aloye Jimako and the siblings of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, since they have started this case, the way I'm seeing religious leaders mingling with them, remember the history we learned from our Dim Odmegwu Ojukwu. When he surrendered without contacting people who are on the ground fighting, defending our land, he surrendered because they used religious leaders to persuading him to believe in what he said no, that what he are killing us. Why? That is where I'm afraid, and I always keep the record and the voice of our leader. He said any day, he look around and say, brothers and sisters, that is the way we are going to, there is a way of doing this thing this time around. The nearest person who are following him should shut him dead. We don't want our leader to have that kind of victim because we are ready to take anything down who are blocking our way, who wanted to, and it happened to our leader. We love him to persuade him to agree what we said no, what we have been dying since. It will be hot. And this war with even my little child know what I want. And he will continue. His own that is coming will continue. So it's better we tell these people what we don't want this. Anybody who are going to our leader know what our leader represents. He said no to evil. He said no to Nigeria. Nigeria is evil. Nigeria means death to us. That is where I'm getting afraid for this. So we don't want this thing to happen to our people. Remember what we represent. Support ESN. Stay away from evil. Remove fear from your eyes. No, our eyes are open now. We see evil where we see people that is supporting evil.
Thank you, Mazi.
Front and back, and they will get it hot with us. They want Chineke, may Elohim bless all the good ones for their good work. We must get Biafra, and we say no to evil.
Ndewo Mazi, please remain on the line for me, please. Okay, let me introduce Mazi Foreign. Let me introduce Mazi Foreign and our brother. Okay, I will get them back very soon, so that there is an important information that there is a very important information that I want to bring them in for. Okay, they are back. Okay, Mazi Foreign, please go ahead, introduce yourself, and go ahead, please. You have the platform. Ndewo, Mazi, can you hear me? Okay, I don't know what is going on. Mazi Foreign, can you hear me? He cannot.
We're here.
Okay. Please go ahead, introduce yourself, and we have two people on the line right now to speak to you, Biafrans. Please go ahead, Mazi Foreign.
Yeah, Mazi, good morning from here. Can you hear me?
Good morning, sir. Please go ahead.
I'm not hearing you. Your line is weak.
You are coming out. You are loud and clear. Okay, he's saying he cannot hear me. Can you hear me now? Oh, okay, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Okay, good morning. I remain Mazi from Poland here. Our leader remains Mazi Nandi Kukano, a member of Zochuku Pezana, Oyinati Nizo. We continue to appreciate him, and the head of director remains Mazi Chika Eduzim, and all his groups that do wonderfully well. The men and women of our radicals all over the world, we continue to appreciate all of you. Mazi, based on that clip I said, that clip is in my wall, and I want to be Biafran to share that clip. In most of the platforms, I send it to some people in my contact who want all of them to be sharing it, because this is the atrocities and the handwork of Biget. You don't forget the exposure that Dr. Jaman have been doing. This one happened in Cameroon. This man want to flush all Africans. And now I have a brother from Biafra land. He has the same experience. I don't want to mention Mazi from Biafra land. In an end, good morning from here. You're on to Radio Biafra.
Yeah, Mazi Foreign, good morning from here. And Mazi, yeah, thank you very much. Biafrans all over the world, lovers of freedom, I really appreciate every one of us who has been working assiduously to see that our motherland is restored. It's an honor, and it's also a privilege to serve. I remain Mazi Nwaboke. Based on this clip, my beloved brothers and sisters, the reason why Onyendu was lamenting, the voice in the wilderness crying out for his people to hear him and to adhere to all that he was saying, is playing out. What you are seeing on your screen, what you are seeing circulating all over the world is the handwork of Bill Gates. But before Bill Gates, this particular incident has been over the years sponsored by World Health Organization, because they want to control the world. They want to control the population of the world. This is just an eye tip to what is happening to million blacks all over the world. The agenda was to reduce the black continents, the race that had all it takes, the race that God blessed so much more than anything creation on the planet Earth. It has been like that. Do you know, Biafrans, that the reason why we said we want our nation is that our nation gateways will not be porous as the zoo and to other African countries. In every dispensation of a new elected government into the power of the zoo, the first person that will make a visit tour, people go to Bill Gates, but Bill Gates always want to visit every new elected president of any nation in Africa. The reason why he is doing that is to make sure that they buy to his idea, because he's going to give them money. But they never knew that the exchange of that money is to depopulate that nation. All of us know that mosquito has been ravaging this country called Nigeria from inception. They've not been able to bring a vaccine that will eradicate mosquito from this nation. But you know that how much money they roll into vaccination of polio and the rest. The purpose of polio, people thought it is good for meningitis and the deformity. No. Those names they label there is exactly what polio is doing to our people. The reason why we are not seeing it much effect on our people is because Chukwu Okabiama created us from our mother's womb strong and healthy to resist those polio. What they are using polio and all the vaccination they are doing in Africa is to reduce the cells in our brain so that we'll no longer think like human being, we'll think like animal. And also to depolate our brain not to function proper. That is what Bill Gates and the World Health Organization is sponsoring on a yearly basis. In every hospital in African continent, once you give birth to your child, the next thing again, you come for vaccination. Thinking that vaccination is something that will improve the health of that child. No, it is an acid. It's a chemical a dying chemical that they want to inject into that child, not to maximize the potential that he brought into this world. Look at what is happening to the Northeast now. Do you know that the agenda of the terrorists, the ones that want to take over North and to make sure that they cripple the food suppliers in this nation, that what they do, that these people, this same big and his group wants to use the women and the young teenagers that they captured. As you can see what is going on now, they said that the bandit went to school and captured 380 students and the government will keep mute. Do you know that those things, they are using them for experiments? There's a particular vaccine, a reproductive vaccine that they are implanting in their system, and they are making money. Even those in the IDP camp, they are still using them for experiments. But people don't know that this is what is going on in all these places. And I thank Okike and his humble servant, Mazen Nandokukan, for not allowing such to happen in Biafran land. Do you know why? That is the reason why they filtrated on the security outfit that Onyendu put in place. Because they knew that if actually what he meant is to secure the borders of Biafran land, they will not have opportunity to move their machineries into this area. That's why they did not agree with their governors about the float of Eastern Security Network. And they know that if Eastern Security Network, according to plan of Onyendu, is to secure borders, these people will not come in their thousands to carry out this assignment. That is why they lobby the governors to make sure that they brought counter narrative to Eastern Security Network, creating a Bubago Malaysia, in order to counter this outfit that will stop them from perpetrating this act and causing mayhem in Biafran land. There are so many secret agenda that the government is carrying out, and that is the reason why it is happening that most of our governors will not yield to that which is the core Igbo ideology about who we are before the white man invaded us. So my brothers and sisters, you remember during the time that they gave some polio vaccine across Ozobolo and the rest, and we have a kiosk that parents went to the school and start pulling their children. People thought it was a joke, but actually it happens across Biafran land. If not Mazen Nandikan, who had raised alarm, that one was so devastated. But what I am trying to let Biafra know today is that the reason why we want to guide our borders is because of this evil that Brigade is sponsoring all over the world. They are sponsoring it in so many ways. When you hear that the terrorists in the north has gone to one school, kidnap, they went to market, kidnap, they kidnap a whole village, they know what they are doing. They are indirectly using those people for experiments. If you refuse taking it through polio, you will take it through food. If you refuse taking it through food, you will take it through your health challenge. These are the things they are doing. So I want Biafrans all over the world to be wise. Our immune system is first. Our immune system is first all over the world. Chukwu Okabia might bless our immune system. It is high time we refuse polio vaccination in Biafran land. What you see happening to this young child is what they intend to do to every child, because they know that our cell carries a lot of gene that will stop any disease. So what they are doing is experiment. And it is high time we Biafrans reject their offer in total. May Chukwu Okabia bless Biafrans. May he still give us an eagle eye and retentive memory to hear and to see and to understand that this evil plot is targeting on black race. And remember also, Biafrans, that when we talk about the covenant with Chukwu Okabia, we, the Biafrans, are the ones that Okike had covenant with. And their target is focusing on us. God bless Biafrans all over the world and lovers of freedom.
Okay, please stay for a few minutes. I want to ask, thank you for what you just said. I remember during COVID 2020, you saw what happened in the north, and our leader said it will not come near our place. And you saw how they were falling. And the same thing happened in Ozobolo. It happened in Imo State. I know that you remember when Hope Uzodinma was sharing telephones to our people, even the people who used their name to borrow money, they collected their data, and after some of them are indebted up to now. I don't know what really happened in Imo State. And that's why I ask people to call from Imo State to continue to give us information. And lastly, before you drop, our beloved brother, our comrade, Dr. Chukwu Emeka Ezife was led to rest. It's quite unfortunate. He woke up very late, but we know and we believe in reincarnation, and we are hoping and we are praying that he reincarnate fast and start that which he could not finish before he died. And our sympathy, our condolence go to the family. If you have anything to say about that before you drop,
Yes, Biafrans all over the world. I was very happy of the turnout, the massive turnout of Biafrans all over Biafran land that paid tribute to him and commit his body to the Mother Earth. Most of us were there. A sizable number of people were there. Our gallant soldier, gallant lawyer was there, and so many comrades was also there. You talk about reincarnation. People should know that we need him back because he did not finish the job. Most of our heroes do not finish the assignment. So we pray that once they died, they should come back immediately and continue from there, because most of the problems we are solving today are the problems that our forefathers caused. So they reincarnate in the person of, including our leader, Mazen Nandekano, is a reincarnation of unfinished job that he has come to finish. Likewise, some of us. So the burial was awesome. It was a huge success. I thank every Biafrans. I thank all the Igbos. In fact, people identify him from all walks of life, and they gave him a befitting burial. Let me go back to Imo State. I know that Biafrans are aware that within the houses of Izombe and Ubuta, Awa, that there is a hospital set up in these areas that I mentioned for the community. But those community never knew that the purpose of setting those hospitals in the name of health center, they don't know the secret behind those hospitals set around those areas. These places are where they harvest men and female organs for their business. Every governor in the Southeast is involved in this business, except few that were just elected in recently. Let me not say all, except few that were just elected in recently. But those who has been in the system, they set up these harvesting organ centers in their various states, and they run it concurrence with the Ebubago and the joint military parade forces in the whole of this Southeast. But the one I am pinpointing now is the one going on in Uguta local government on Haji, on Awa.
The current place is Omokane. I hope we don't set it up. And you know that area, Charles Ore, is a 419er, is a colleague those days. He's the local government chairman there. That particular place is Omokane. I don't know if he had other ones he have built again, because that one will so much expose him that he gave it to a man of God called Godion, who is wedding young boys. They are collecting the money. So a lot of atrocities are going on in that area. And our media in Imo State, our Imolites, I think their satellite must beam that area very well. And people from those areas should be calling us, giving us information. We need information. We will continue to expose this young man in Imo State. Go on, my brother. Go on.
Mazi, it is easy. Several attempts has been made to penetrate into this place, including this Omokane. Did you know that they set up army checking points in all the road? If you are driving on a bike, they must stop you and must tell them the purpose why you want to cross over.
Exactly. This is what he did in look, as actually of Army Feke. He don't cross it to his gate. That's actually of Army Feke, who he is using. Are you talking about JC Akolita? The worst person in all retired justice JC Akolita. Chinasa one is in I don't know, is in Abuja now. All of them will go to both Tebat or the all of them. All of them. Army Feke, all of them. These are the agents.
So that is one of the problems that the food medias and the media warriors is facing here. Because it is very, very hard, except you have an insider who provides you an information of eyewitness. That is the only way we can sell publicly, because they know that this is the era of information. And the one thing again, I will not fail to appreciate our big father, Mazi Okosisi. I want to appreciate him, and I want Biafrans to appreciate him all over the world. He stood, and he cannot be bent. Regards to the life of our brother Mazi Onyendu. At the same time, at the burial, he made his statement clear. He said, unless he went in and unless he moved to his house, he went in and slept and he couldn't wake up. That is the only way he will not stand to see for the release of Onyendu. But as long as he lives, that is going to stand head tall to say that Onyendu is released. So I want to appreciate him. These are the kind of men that is standing out to make sure that they didn't die with the potential that they brought into this world. Thank you, Mazi Foreign. More updates, we'll be letting Biafra knows what we are going through here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and stay fine. Thank you.
Thank you very much. No, I don't have nothing. The time is already over.
Sochima Mbanali, we hand back to them. Back to you.
They will very much. Thank you very much. Biafrans, you have heard it. This is the problem that we are facing. And this is a problem that all of us must face. This is a problem that all of us must tackle, not a problem that only IPOB or only certain people are supposed to tackle. This is a problem that affects each and every one of us. Therefore, it is a problem that all of us must handle. All of us are responsible for ensuring that our lives are safe. Thank you very much and do have a wonderful day. We have already gone way past our time. Thank you to Mwachineke for allowing me to, if it is what's his name, Bukachua said, for encroaching in my wife's private. So thank you very much, Mwachineke, for the time that you have given me to be able to get this information out to our people. Please, Biafran, stay tuned. This is Radio Biafra. Thank you to everybody who has been part of this program, to the comments that I've read and those that I didn't read. Thank you to every single person. Still join tomorrow from 5 until 7. Ndewo.